Hey everybody, it's LaRhonda and I'm back with another video, and today I want to talk about a time when I went and asked a guy that I had a crush on for quite a while out on a date. Now, to preface this whole conversation, he didn't know that he was on a date because the best way that I knew to ask him out was to ask him out kind of as a person, like as a person he knows, and like, hey, let's just get together and go out and enjoy, a day or some food or whatever. Let's just hang out and catch up. Instead of like, hey, would you like to go with me on a date? I just found that to be the most impossible thing. So the way I found to rectify my fear of asking somebody on an actual date was to just ask him out as a friend. That way I could go out with him. If he said no, it wouldn't be because he knew that I was interested in him romantically. And then I could go on the date in my head, what I would call a date, see if there was any chemistry between us or if things, could go any further. And if they couldn't, he would never be the wiser. And if they could, then I could tell him on the date. Like if I felt something, I could tell him on the date, like, hey, I have a crush on you or whatever. And I've had one for, however long I've had it. So I asked him out and he said yes. We got together, made some plans. We went out and had some lunch, I guess it was, or maybe early dinner, something like that. We went out and we talked and walked a little bit and ate and caught up a little bit. But as we were eating and talking, like I was sort of noticing that there wasn't, like, I didn't have this overwhelming feeling of chemistry with him that I had hoped to have. And when you have a crush on a person, you build up a lot of things in your head about them and about what it's going to be like for you to be in their presence, and the chemistry that you guys are going to have, and it's in your mind, it's this whole fairy tale. And so then when you get actually on the date and it's like everything that you've built up in your mind, it turns out to not be that. I guess I can't say that I was let down by it, but it was like, oh wow, like I expected this to be much better. Like I expected the chemistry to be much better. I expected the conversation to be much better. And yeah, we talked about things, but like I really didn't feel like at the end of the day, like that there was a lot of heartfelt information or a lot of like deep conversation exchange between us. Like I don't think I learned anything about him and who he is as a person necessarily, like at his core, from that conversation. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, do you really expect to learn something like that from a first date? I would say kind of yeah. Like when you have a good chemistry with somebody, like I feel like the conversation could definitely be the type where you just kind of start feeling like so close to the person and so interested in who they are that lots of questions come up and they give lots of deep answers and interesting answers that lead to other questions. And that's not what was really happening. And so, also, one of the things that that I look for when it comes to dating is like, I like a guy that pays for the date. Now, the thing that I thought about was that it's not really fair for me to expect or to be having any feeling about the fact that he didn't pay, especially because of the fact that he didn't know he was on a date. So, I kind of had to put that aside a little bit, but it still was a little bit of a turn off, and it sort of like let me know and move me towards like more of feeling like that the dynamic between us was not as good. And even so, because I have friends who are just friends and people that I've been really good friends with for many years, and we've gone out a lot, and I never had to pay for anything, no drinks, no food, no nothing. And these are male friends that I hung out with, and we used to go out all the time before I moved here. We used to go out all the time and I never had to pay for anything. So I don't know if I got spoiled with them and they're just different type of men or what. But anyway, you know, I kind of had to felt like I had to put it aside, that portion of things, the fact that he didn't pay because of, you know, the reasons that I mentioned. You know, and I guess, who knows, like, what if I had told him that I had a crush on him? Because, like, the plan in my head was that we were going to have such chemistry on the date that then I would reveal to him sometime during the date that I had had this major crush on him. But because the thing didn't, the chemistry just wasn't there, I was like, well, there's no point in me even telling him that I have a crush on him, because number one, I don't feel it, and it's really like, number two, it's not even there anymore. So once we had the time together and spent the alone time together, and, you know, I could learn a few things about him on the surface, but things that I know probably are not going to really jive with me, and like how we're probably on different pages and different stages in our lives. You know, I had to kind of just say, you know what, well, I'm happy that I did this. I'm happy that I got the balls to to tell him that, or to ask him out is what I mean, and that I went through with it, because now I don't have to go and look back on this time and say, you know, I wonder what would have happened if I had gone ahead and asked, you know, so-and-so on that date, or if I had asked him out just to see how things went. You know, I wonder how it would have been. And now I don't have to say that. I can go through and check that off the list of things that I've done, that I'm thankful that I did, and now I can move on. And also, I guess that puts me in a better position to next time do this thing again. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking someone out as a friend to kind of gauge whether or not you have chemistry, and whether or not you could maybe tell them later, like, hey, I'm interested in more. Just to see, you know, how they are how things are between you when there's not that pressure. Although the pressure is sort of on my side, because I know what I'm really doing. So I don't know how fair it is, and I'm not 100% sure, but like, I do feel like it's a good way of getting out with someone that you may be interested in without embarrassing yourself by saying, would you like to go out on a date with me? You know, and then having them say, no, well, I don't see you in that way, or putting them in the awkward position of having to turn you down. I think it's better to like ask them if they want to hang out, just kind of like, let's go out and grab something to eat and chit chat, and then see where the chemistry goes. And if the chemistry is there, then you kind of know from that maybe there could be something more, and then you can let them know. But if not, then nobody's the wiser. You haven't embarrassed yourself, or, you know, you don't have to be in a situation where you cannot look that person in the face next time you see them. So anyway, that's what happened with me. It didn't work out this time. He wasn't the one, or somebody that I would want to see again, but I'm so happy that I did it. I feel like it's building me up to find the one, and getting me just one step closer to finding someone amazing for me. So anyway, that's my story. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys coming to this channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the like button, give me a like on this video. If you've ever asked a guy or a girl out, I'm sure guys ask girls out all the time, but if you're a lady and you've ever asked a guy out, how did it go? How did you do it? Tell me all about it in the comments. And also, if you have any other people that you know that would be interested in this video, share it with your friends. I would love to hear all of your comments and suggestions about how I can get my dating life a little bit more exciting, and, you know, how I can get myself into like asking more men out. Because I guess maybe in this situation where I am here in Puerto Rico, maybe that's what I need to start doing, because the men are not as forward here. So I feel like I find myself in a position a lot of times to be asking the men out rather than the other way around. And it's not something that I like, but if I want my dating prospects to increase, I guess it's something that I'm going to have to do. It's weird, it's uncomfortable, I hate it, but I guess it's what I gotta do. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy dating, everybody. Bye-bye.